play is very different to other forms of writing. Your audience does more than just read your words, a lot more. Plays are performed on a stage with actors, props, sets, lighting, music, sound effects. You might have haze from a smoke machine. Your actors might interact directly with your audience, maybe even bring them up on stage. The performance might begin in the foyer prior to the audience entering the auditorium. A play is a rich experience for the senses. Theatricality refers to what makes your play theatre, especially as it appeals visually and audially. Things that work wonderfully in fiction can tank on stage. Beautiful dialogue isn't necessarily enough. There has to be something interesting to look at as well as listen to. Talking heads is where your characters do nothing but sit or stand around and talk. It doesn't have to be slapstick, and you don't have to have raw chicken being hurled around on the stage, but there has to be some visual interest. Let's say your script has two people in conversation. If all they're doing is standing opposite each other, that's likely to be a very dull audience experience. What could they be doing while they're conversing? They could be getting dressed, looking for something, putting on makeup, maybe playing a board game. Any of these things are better than just watching static actors. Think about how you can add more audio-visual elements to your script. What can you do beyond giving your characters an activity during their dialogue? Can you suggest props, costumes, set items, sound effects? Can you build movement and actions into your script? Now, while actors and directors should be focusing on bringing the theatrical elements of your play to life, it helps a lot if they're built into the work in the first place. What if you set your play in the Wild West, or medieval times, or in the future? This will give scope for fancy costumes, which adds interest. Think about how else you can add movement, actions, sounds, and visual interest into your play. Now, have a look at this example of one of my plays. It started as a monologue, but adding extra characters and choreography made it highly theatrical.
They brought in the self-checkout machines a year ago, or as we call them here, the free fruit machines. See, you put your fruit straight into...
Sorry? Well, I gave you $7.80, ma'am. It cost $12.20 and you gave me a 20. I'm certain, ma'am. It says how much change to give you on your receipt.
Sorry, posh bitch can't count. You put your fruit and veg straight into your bags and walk away and no one knows you've nicked it. Still costs them less than 5 wages, so they don't much care.
And that's the problem with the minimum wage circuit. We're nothing but robots being phased out by robots. And I'm not just talking about the scanning and the giving of change. I mean the whole thing. We have a script, for Christ's sakes.
My name's Corinne and I'll be your Subway sandwich artist today. Would you like wholemeal 5-grade cheese or Italian herbs?
Theatre tends to work best when it's written in the present. A story which is unfolding in front of your eyes is far more engaging than watching characters talk about something that happens some other time. Some of the most common advice writers will hear is show, don't tell. This is particularly pertinent in theatre. If you've written a scene where two characters are complaining about the behaviour of their friend last week, can you show it somehow instead? How about a quick flashback where the friend comes on stage, behaves poorly, then leaves again? No matter what your subject matter is or your goals as a playwright, remember that your play is made to be performed. Put some thought into what kind of experience it would be watching it from the audience.